Welcome to PR Like a Boss, the podcast where we spill the serum and the strategy on all things beauty, media and brand buzz. I'm your host Patz, and today's guest is someone who embodies confidence, sparkle and zero filters, quite literally. She's a seasoned beauty PR pro, the founder of This Is 50 and the Midlife Beauty Insider, and an unapologetic red lip-wearing, sea-loving, no-retouching advocate for positive aging. It's the fabulous Genevieve Nikolopulos. Genevieve has over 30 years in the beauty industry, and in that time, she's not just shaped beauty stories, she's written the script on what it means to be visible, vibrant, and truly authentic in midlife and beyond. So let's dive into how PR evolves with life experience, how to build an ageless brand, and how this former PR powerhouse pivoted into content creator, community builder, and confident as hell spokesperson for women everywhere. Genevieve, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited to have you here. First of all, I want to know how you went from PR pro to content creator.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. And I've probably got COVID to thank for that, to be honest. So I started producing content actually when I turned 50. It was the very early days of Instagram. And I've always been very into photography. I used to do shoot production actually in a previous life. I used to do art direction, shoot production, a bit of styling. So I've probably always been a bit of a suppressed photographer and I'm very creative. So I started my Instagram in the early days when I was still managing director of beauty PR agency, in order really to learn, because I thought, okay, it's another social media channel. I think we only had Facebook and Twitter then, and I needed to learn what was going on. So I started it literally just dabbling. I called it This Is 50. And I wanted to show people that actually 50 isn't that bad, because I don't want to say I was one of the first people to turn 50. Obviously I wasn't, but I was one of the first people in our industry amongst our peers in my era to turn 50. And so I was kind of leading the way there. And people, people always looked upon it as some kind of scary age and scary decade. So I was like, wow, this is actually fine. Anyway, fast forward to COVID. Well, I left my job in 2016. So I was 54, about to turn 55. And I really just consulted and I went freelance for a little bit. I wasn't doing PR, I was consulting on strategy and all sorts of things. And COVID hit and my consultancy side really went quiet. And I had been creating the odd kind of makeup video and I really enjoyed doing those. Mainly, I really enjoy the editing and the filming. I don't particularly enjoy looking at myself, but I love the editing side. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to give this bit more energy and a bit more focus. But what didn't sit right with me was that I was a very senior, highly respected PR person in my industry. And yet here I was showing someone how to put on red lipstick and I'm not a makeup artist. So I thought something isn't quite right here because, I'm still sort of consulting in quite a senior capacity. And yet if they go on my Instagram, they see me putting on eyeshadow or whatever. So that was where the Midlife Beauty Insider was born, because I thought, do you know what? I've got an amazing book of contacts. I've got a really good reputation in my industry. A lot of these people are my genuine friends, and I've known them for years. I'm going to start using that and doing live conversations. And the brilliant thing about it in those days, because not many people were doing lives, I think it was the very early days of people going, oh yeah, let's do a live because everyone was stuck at home, was that it brought these experts directly to my audience. So they were able to ask their own questions. And I realized I was quite good at facilitating and moderating. So as much as I love to talk, I'm also quite good at being quiet and challenging and all the things that you need actually to interview. So yeah, that's how it started. And that's when it really took off, actually. The Midlife Beauty Insider really kick-started This Is 50 into a new era.
I love that. How have you seen the way brands communicate beauty evolve over time? And more importantly, where does midlife fit into that conversation now?
So I'll answer the first bit first, because obviously the PR communication landscape has changed so dramatically. I would hate to be doing that job now, I must say. So, we just had press. We had press, broadcast, all of the magazines, newspapers. Obviously, very few magazines left. So it's very, very hard to get into print media nowadays. And the lead times means that, you're on social media way before you're in a magazine. You know, you've got to prepare launches in such a different way. So it's a much bigger landscape, but I also think it's much harder to pull the wool over people's eyes. People want real, authentic, trusted reviews. They want to hear trusted voices who have used this product. They want to hear personal recommendations. PR has always been actually about word of mouth. So, but it was just in a different way. And now it's really word of mouth. And I think the challenging part now is to find the right mouths. Because we still find a bit like in the media where you could put a load of money behind advertising and you'd get a review. It's still a little bit like that still on Instagram where you can pay an influencer to say something. I mean, personally for me, that's one of my things. I'm very authentic, so I will not take on paid work or sponsored work if I don't trust the brand or rate the brand. And I won't say I've noticed some dramatic difference if I haven't. So I think it's hard. And in terms of talking to let's say the more mature customer, again, you know, it's down to the language used. It's down to the voices that you choose to be your spokespeople. You know, clinical trials they're expensive, but they're always really, really good because they, as a consumer, you can go online, have a look at those. And obviously that's much more believable than looking at an influencer talking about something who's absolutely glamorous and has got amazing lighting.
Yeah, well, science doesn't lie.
No.
Yeah. One of the things I love about your content is your honesty. No retouching, really filtered, especially in a very airbrushed world. How has that shaped your relationship with yourself, your audience, and with the media?
Well, interestingly, I've always been that person. So even in PR, some of my clients used to laugh at me because they'd say, you know, you're not a typical PR because you don't lie. We can see if you're trying to kind of embellish the truth, they could see it in my face. So that's always been me. So it wasn't difficult for me to be that person. I'm just very, very honest. So it's you know, I would never retouch something and say I hadn't. I would never say I had never had Botox. Interestingly, it's quite funny because one of the brands I worked with recently put one of the ads on Facebook and there were quite a few comments on there like, oh, no way, she's 62. She's had a face full of filler. You know, her face doesn't move. And I just thought this is hilarious because these people clearly don't follow me. So they don't know.
Yeah.
So there's no way. Number one, I'm squeamish. I've never had filler, but I don't lie about these things. So it did make me chuckle. And it also, you know, it makes you feel good that you know you can categorically say hand on heart, you know, that I'm talking authentically. And I think it's helped build a really trusted audience. So my audience, I mean, I get such brilliant feedback. And that's one of the things I really enjoy, apart from being creative. I really enjoy the fact that I seem to be helping a lot of women our age who are, you know, it's not necessarily easy all the time. And navigating through this, you know, your 50s and then into your 60s, there are so many things you're going to come up against and challenge you. So, you know, the fact that I can have a voice, an authentic voice, because I'm here and I'm doing it, gives me a lot of pleasure.
Yeah. As mentioned, you launched This Is 50 and the Midlife Beauty Insider to create a space for real talk around beauty and aging. How did your background in PR help you build those platforms into what they are today?
I think, well, obviously, a PR background really helps in terms of knowing how to get your voice up. However, I still really struggled with building my following. And, you know, that's one of the biggest challenges on Instagram. Even though I know how these things are supposed to work, there's no magic formula. So in terms of that, you know, obviously, I probably know a lot more than everyday influencer who might just start up from her bedroom. The other thing, obviously, with my beauty contacts and my beauty knowledge over the last 25, 30 years, that has really helped me. The context, that's really helped me. In another way, there has been a hindrance in that because I've been kind of a well-known beauty PR for so many years, I think some of the PRs still find that crossover quite hard to get their heads around. So my challenge is still often, you know, getting in front of PRs and saying, well, hey, can you put me on your list?
Yeah.
And I'm not very good at that. I'm not very good at self-promotion. I never have been, which is why I always promoted other brands. So, you know, that is a little bit of a challenge for me. I think, you know, I'm lucky in the way I've sort of evolved organically and I've worked with some great brands. But when it goes quiet and I think, oh God, I need to do something, what shall I do? People say, well, reach out to these PRs that you don't hear from. And I'm like, oh gosh, no. You know, I'm a bit shy like that, which is weird.
This resonates a lot with me.
Yeah.
I've always said that I can PR anything in terms of products, services, treatments, whatever. I can work a room if I need to. But doing it for myself, it has, I don't know, it's like an element of that cringe factor. I know I've got to be out there. I know I need to show up. And I guess, with the podcast and having amazing guests like you support, it helps. But I totally, totally get it. And I don't know whether it's because, I don't know, can that be classified as a little bit of imposter syndrome, or is it just confidence level?
Totally.
I don't know what it is. Like, maybe it's a mixture of all of that. Yeah. So I completely get it.
I think it is a mixture. And it's interesting. Yesterday, I went to a talk by a friend of mine, and she was talking about sort of ageism in our industry. And I find that really interesting because a lot of the time, if I was a different person without a positive outlook, I would go, oh, it's ageism. They just think I'm past it. And, I've left my big job and I'm just, sitting at home now doing this. But you can't think like that. You have to really push yourself, and you have to put yourself forward as if you're a product.
Yeah.
Or a brand. Yeah. You are a brand.
Yeah, you are a brand. It's your profile, your personal brand, and we need to get out of our own heads. Yeah,
totally.
In your view, what are some of the biggest mistakes brands make when trying to market to midlife women?
Gosh, where do I start? So obviously we have to start with language, don't we? Because, turkey neck.
Oh God, yeah.
Crow's feet. And even anti-aging, like why anti-aging? Why are we trying to be anti-aging? We want to age. Obviously, we all want to age.
It's a privilege.
What's the other? It's a privilege. What's the other option? So, the language, I think it's starting. It's starting. But I still think people find that really hard. And I get why, it's easy marketing, it's lazy marketing. A lot of the consumers haven't moved on in that either.
I was
a consumer will walk into Boots and say, have you got something from my crow's feet? Like, this is the hard thing. Yeah. But I've actually started putting pro-age as one of my hashtags, pro-aging, positive aging, trying to move towards more positive aging as a lifestyle choice. Because it is a privilege. Privileged aging, that's a good one, actually. So that, and also obviously the models used, sometimes they're not midlife because they don't want to be seen to be using older women with real issues. They want their marketing material to look glamorous. So yeah, and also false claims, retouched images that are clearly under different lighting. There's no need for that. Find a different hook. That really bugs me. And also with a background of art directing and shoot production, I can see straight away they may not have retouched it, but they may have used different lighting. I did something, I think it was last year, where I literally held my phone up like this and I went all the way down with the phone. And honestly, I aged 10 years from the top to the bottom. And that's what it is. Like one piece of lighting, you'll show everything and the other you won't. So
yeah. That's a good experiment, actually. I'm going to try that.
And also trends. Sorry, the other thing that really bugs me, but again, it's a bit like in the language, but menopause products with the names on them because that's a trend. Please don't call your product menopause hair care. Like, why?
Do we think it's because brands feel the need to emphasize an area of beauty and skincare that helps the consumer understand what they should be buying?
That's exactly why they're doing it. But it's still lazy for me. Like, yes, you can use that in your PR messaging or your marketing, but the actual name of the product, it does not, the ingredients, surely they are targeted at midlife women. But, what if you're 45, 50, you don't believe you've gone through the perimenopause yet? I mean, unlikely, but you see a product with menopause on it, you're not going to buy it. Like it is, it's just a bit lazy. And I do find that a bit annoying. I mean, there are friends of mine who won't touch products with certain names on them, but like I'll always give it the time of day if I see it's going to be a decent product. But yeah, I think they may have smartened up to that now because I think last year we had quite a few menopause launches. The last couple of years, don't think I've seen any this year.
That's interesting. You've built this brilliant community by spotlighting experts, as mentioned before, from menopause to skincare, makeup, beauty in general. What can PR pros learn about using trusted voices over just hopping on trends?
I think they need to take their time and not be so formulaic. I think when working with influencers, particularly influencer marketing agencies, I think with brands, they tend to separate it into influencer marketing and PR. The PRs will generally know these people way better than the influencer marketing agencies.
100%.
And it makes life really difficult because let's say you're giving the PR the job with no budget. They're working with the correct influencers with the right voices. They give the influencer marketing the budget. Those correct influencers with the right voices see that brand paying other people and they go, well, hold on a minute. I'm perfect for the brand. Why are they not using me? And so, it can get really messy. So I think brands need to sit up and do a little bit of research, think about their objectives and who the best person is for the job. I think it's really important. I think the other mistake often made is that a lot of, again, it does come down to the brand more often than the PR, because the PR should know what they're doing. But a lot of the time, the brand will have their favorite influencers they want to work with. And let's say it's a beauty brand, but they might love a couple of the fashion influencers who have maybe come into this later life, but they may not know anything about beauty and they're expecting them to sit there and talk about their ingredients or the efficacy. Now, for me, that's not authentic because they don't understand what they're saying. They're just saying it because they've been paid to say it. And that's where the trusted marketing bit falls down. So I think do your research. And yes, there's nothing wrong with working with those influencers, but again, maybe give them a different brief.
Yeah.
So interestingly, again, a brand that I worked with last year, they did a whole training. Can I mention them? Probably.
If you like.
So number 7, they're pretty good like this.
Love
so
number
they
7.
did a whole, so they did a whole back to beauty school course. And I was a bit kind of, eye rolling. I was like, okay, well, I'm sure I'm gonna really ease past this with no problem. So you had to do the tutorial and then answer the questions. It was a quiz at the end. And it was really good. And I would say even I learned quite a bit, but it was targeted at their cohort who were probably, a lot of them fashion lifestyle with no beauty experience. And that for me is brilliant because they're saying, okay, we want to work with those people, but we understand that you may not understand and we want to teach you. So I think that was brilliant because it was giving them the power behind their voice.
Yeah, I think it's very clever. They are looking for new spokespeople, new ambassadors, just new followers in a way, and giving them the knowledge of what X, Y, and Z product or ingredient does is also fundamental. So that can transfer to the influencers' followers as and when they talk about the product themselves.
Yeah. And also, just to add, I was going to add about the Midlife Beauty Insider, because obviously that for me has been a really good voice because I've also monetized that in terms of sponsorship. So some brands, I've worked with brands who come to me and they want an interview and it gives them UGC and we're able to formulate some of the questions in advance as to what they want to say. But that gives them such a great platform because they can you can talk to the brand. First off, you can challenge them yourself and the audience can challenge them, which is brilliant.
Love that.
They have to have the confidence that they know what they're saying. But that's also been quite successful.
That's great. You've been both the one pitching and the one being pitched to. What's your golden rule for getting media coverage in today's saturated beauty space?
Gosh, I think it's really difficult. I think I have always been successful with an honest approach, and I know that's unusual in PR, but I think, don't go in and say, I've got a game-changing product or, there's nothing like this on the market. There's always going to be something, unless it really is, but I think it's highly unusual. But I think find the hooks. Do your research, who you're targeting, and find the hook that is going to actually switch that person on or is right for their audience. And I think that's where a lot of people fall down because again, a brand will be like, well, this is our ingredient and this is our key message and this is what we want to put out. But it may be that not every section of the media wants that particular message. They might need something else. So, it could be like, this is great for menopause, or it could be, this is great for dry skin. The brand might say, we just want you to go and talk about menopause. Well, actually, some people don't like talking about menopause.
No.
Just an example. But yeah, so I think you've got to think creatively, always think creatively, and always challenge. I mean, as a PR, always challenge, even if it's a client and they're saying, this is what I want to say. I mean, I would always challenge back. Even in pitches, if we were pitching to do PR for a brand and the brand was saying, this is game changing, I would say to them, listen, I'm not going to get the results you want by using that message.
Yeah.
So again, I guess it comes back to that honest, authentic approach. You have to have a certain amount of confidence and experience probably to be able to use that.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, do we think it's also experience that's needed or better training?
Yeah, a bit of both. I mean, I always say actually experience is my superpower or is your superpower. So, if anyone's feeling that they're in the industry too long, you've got incredible experience, whatever industry that is. And that is your superpower. And that, use that to give yourself confidence.
I couldn't agree more. Okay, now for my favourite bit of the show. It's time for a little game. This one is called the Beauty Confessions Booth. It's a quick fire. It's juicy and it's totally unfiltered. Ready?
Okay.
What's the one beauty product you'll never give up, even if the world ends?
Has to be mascara for me.
Mascara.
Because with my mascara, hooded eyes, and my lashes are kind of brown and blonde at the end. And so it just wakes up my face.
Which ones are your favourites?
Oh my goodness. I've got about 5 on my 5 I'm using at the moment.
Have you? Are they literally on rotation?
Do you know what? Yes. So I'm loving the new rum. We Are Rum.
I've ordered mine. It's coming.
Yeah,
I'm literally,
I'm
hurry
loving
up. I can't wait.
Do you know, currently as well, Ruby Hammer. Her mascara is amazing. Number 7, Pro Artist, insane, amazing, but you can't get it off, but it is brilliant. And what's another one? I love Hourglass. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Unlocked.
Nice.
But and also I've got a couple of Maybelline ones that I can't remember. I think there's Sky High. Is that Maybelline? Yeah. Got that one as well. So yeah.
Love it. Lipstick or highlighter? You can only choose one.
Well, lipstick.
I do love a pop of colour. Any favourites there?
I actually thought highlighter, but I actually think lipstick. Yeah. Or lip gloss.
What ones are your go-tos?
Well, I've got Lisa Eldridge one here. I'm using some gorgeous Trish McAvoy ones at the moment. Which ones? Lipsticks. Oh, there's so many. I love a lip balm. Again, actually, Ruby Hammer's just given me some, which are beautiful. Stila, weirdly. Stila, Stay All Day.
Goodies.
Really good because I can put a balm on. Delilah lip oil, amazing because you can wear that with everything. Yeah, is that enough?
That's
Zoeva.
perfect.
Sorry, Zoeva lip pencil. I did an ad for them. And I probably wouldn't have bought it, but because it was kind of a matty, balmy thing, but it's fantastic. Yeah, I should. It's actually similar. The one I have is a similar colour to what you're wearing. It's lovely.
Biggest beauty fad you regret trying?
Okay, well, you're going to be really disappointed because I don't think I've got anything here.
Oh, there must be something, surely.
Well, I never seem to regret. I don't regret trying anything because, for what I do here, like on Instagram, it's all research and it's great content, if something goes wrong. But I just can't think of anything. The only thing I could think of, and this was back in the 80s, was there was a trend for tying your hair back and cutting off your ponytail.
Oh my goodness, no way. Did you do that?
So you get this kind of wedged bob. And I did it. And I ended up going really short at the back and it went wrong.
Oh, that's giving me anxiety just listening to that story.
I had all my hair cut off short. Yeah, because of that, I had to go and get it sorted out. And it was really cropped.
Wowzers.
Yeah, so I guess it's not really a beauty fad, but it was a trend. Does that work?
People don't do that. One midlife glow up tip that actually works.
Okay, so again, here, I originally thought highlighter, but actually it starts with skin for me. So get your base right. So important. And I think, again, so many women over 50, they either are already wearing something quite thick and they don't think to change it, or they start getting pigmentation and think, oh gosh, I need better, stronger coverage. Actually, it can look worse because as you start to get lines and your skin gets drier, the thicker your foundation can sit in the cracks. So yeah, it's getting the base right. You want a glowy, luminous, natural looking skin. You can always add to your concealer. If you've got little patches of pigmentation, you just add the concealer into the small areas. But if your skin is looking gorgeous and glowy and natural, you can't go wrong.
Yeah, great tip. Like that. One thing PRs need to stop doing, like immediately.
Embellishing the truth. Game changing. Need I say more?
I mean, you can if you want to. Genevieve, thank you so much for joining me today.
Can I say one more?
Yes,
Can I
of
just
course.
say one more? Stop calling me babe or hun.
Yes, had that,
Sorry,
seen
that's a good
that,
one.
heard that before. It's horrible,
we've not
isn't
met-
it? Babe, hun,
Yeah.
lovely. Don't. I have a
No.
name. Please don't
No.
call me that.
Exactly. Yeah, sorry. It's probably a better one, isn't it?
Genevieve, thank you so much for joining me today. You've
Thank
dropped
you for
some
having me.
serious
Such a
wisdom. I mean,
pleasure.
it's been brilliant. It's been amazing. You've been fabulous. You've also given us some brilliant reminders, to be honest, about what beauty doesn't need in its life in regards to there isn't an expiry date, let's say, and confidence
Let's hope not.
doesn't need a filter. No. Where can listeners find you?
On Instagram at this is 50 written. This underscore is underscore 50. They can find me on TikTok under the same name and actually on YouTube.
Thank you so much. And to my listeners, if you loved this episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review and share it with your fellow beauty and brand obsessives. It helps reach more amazing listeners like you. And don't forget, if you're ready to elevate your PR game, check out my e-course, PR Like a Boss. It's packed with actionable tips to help you get noticed and stand out. The link is in the show notes. Join me next time for more conversations with my female powerhouses. Until then, keep pushing boundaries and PRing like a boss.